Welcome back to Florida Sportsman Best Boat. Join our hosts George Labonte and Rick Riles as they discuss the Blue Wave 2800 Pure Hybrid. Representing the 25 to 28 foot class in the bay boat category, the Blue Wave 2800 Pure Hybrid has an overall length of 27 feet 10 inches, a beam of 9 feet 2 inches, and a max horsepower rating of 557. Built for fishing almost anywhere you desire, she has a draft of 17 inches, a dead rise of 18 degrees, a dry weight of 3,650 pounds, and a fuel capacity of 94 gallons. Now, let's hear more from our hosts, George Labonte and Rick Riles.
Captain Labonte, let me tell you something. One of the fun parts about our job is following boats, okay? Boats that we've introduced to the market and then see how they do. If you'll remember, a year ago right now, we were standing on what we considered then a groundbreaking new boat.
You're 100% right. And you know what? This boat, we're standing incidentally on the 2800 Pure Hybrid by Blue Wave. You know, this is primarily an offshore boat, but a boat that'll back into an inshore fishery. For example, today, we had this boat out for a couple of hours in the morning. We caught a sailfish offshore in the morning. An hour later, we're at the rock pile in front of the jetties there and jump off a tarpon.
And something that we learned today, a great boat to run on single power.
Listen, buddy, I loved this boat last year. I love it even more right now. There's so many cool things to look at on the boat. Why don't we start right up here? Buddy, let's talk a little bit about this configuration up here. You know, a couple of people have mentioned to me about having this bay boat raised deck thing for an offshore boat. For starters, probably got the highest tow kick that I've seen on a bay boat like this as far as security keeping you in the boat, all right? You can easily fish up here offshore. I mean, we did it today and it was flat calm, but on a choppy day, you can absolutely make your way around on the bow here securely. And it's not just the tow kick. Blue Wave uses this grip right here. They call it Wave Grip, and it is one of the best non-skid surfaces I've ever seen on a boat. All of the space here is insulated. It starts in the front there. You've got a 10-gallon pitch well that's pressurized, which comes in really handy.
Well, it is, and of course you've got rod racks on each side here, which are perfect when you're traveling especially. You have no need to leave the rods out in plain sight.
Also insulated boxes. There's a 200-quart fish box right here. There's a 500-quart fish box under my feet right here, and a 36-quart drink box in the step. You're on an elevated platform there, and this boat is rigged up like bay boat style, you know, rigged up with this high platform and the trolling motor.
George, it is a deadly weapon, okay? Pull up on a wreck. You want to be a little bit on the left-hand side of the wreck. You want to be right over the pilot house of the old tanker. Just push the button right there. You lock it right down.
Let's move back to the middle.
Something you never hear is a guy talking about how he went from an 8-foot beam to a 9-foot beam. But I'm going to tell you something, Cap. You gain a lot more room inside your boat by going wider than you do by adding a foot or two longer.
You're exactly right. 9 foot 2 inches the beam on this boat here enables you to put a bigger console in here, not eat up all that room, and that console allows you a lot of flexibility for storage. Also, you know, your batteries that are in there, access to the back of this panel's in there, just a really good option. This top really speaks to me. I mean, there's so much more going on than meets the eye on this hard top. I mean, there's an electronics box here, another storage box back here, speaker boxes, lights, you got LEDs, you got switches around here, 7 rod holders across the back. I mean, every time you turn around, there's one more thing to notice about this and one more thing to love about it. Let's move back into the cockpit. All right, there's your work of art right there, man.
Man, it's an aquarium. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I love, you know, I'm a huge fan of the clear fronts on there. A huge 50-gallon live well right here. And, you know, this thing holds so much bait. We've had it full of herring all day, and it's holding them beautifully. Under my feet, under your feet, 2 more 27-gallon live wells right there. Over 100 gallons of capacity on this boat. I love live bait fishing, you know it. I can't believe how much I like this.
And of course you're going to have a stern seat back here. Everybody knows that this flip-up transom seat, this is a great riding boat. That's the most comfortable place to sit.
It is. It's very comfortable. Stows out of the way, turns us into a nice big roomy casting platform. It's not just a seat though, Rick. There's another great big storage area underneath the seat as well.
And that takes us to the back, George. You got to have a power pole on a boat if you're going to fish in shallow water, which you're certainly going to do in this boat.
Yeah, it's working well for us right here where we're sitting. Now, we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about this for a second. The combination of this boat design and that motor right there, I can't imagine getting better numbers in any boat.
This boat performs best on a single motor, but let's face it, it takes a lot of motor to propel a 28-foot boat.
This contra-rotating, you know, 2-prop motor. You've seen it. They introduced it last year, Suzuki's 350. It's a cool design, and for a couple of different reasons. One of the things is the advantage of this 2-prop system is you've heard of rotational flow, okay? The rotational flow, that thrust coming out of your motor on a single prop sends part of the thrust of the water straight back. Part of it goes out to the sides, which is going to waste, right?
Right.
Okay. 2 props, one in front of the other. The rear prop actually picks up a bunch of that wasted flow and converts that to energy. It's super efficient. 4 miles to the gallon at 30, okay? At 40, 3.4 miles. At 45, 2.86 miles. At 50, 2.6 miles to the gallon. And at 57 miles an hour at wide open throttle, 2 miles to the gallon. That's a great combination. This motor's pushing this boat better than they ever imagined. It's working out great for them.
If you're going to consider a boat that you want to blue water fish, you want to catch a sailfish like we did this morning, you're crazy if you don't look at the Blue Wave PureHybrid 2800.